Hey everybody, today I wanted to talk about United States coins. I happened to find a blue book in my safe. It's called the Handbook of United States Coins, 25th edition, 1968. So in my hands is a relic of a different time. And if you notice, there is an envelope inside the book which contains a series of $2 bills. I received this envelope inside the book, like you saw, from my grandmother, who inspired me to start a coin collection. Originally, she called me on the phone one day over 15 or 20 years ago and asked me if I had all 50 United States quarters with all the states on the back of them. I didn't, so I began collecting and she gave me a map. If you want to see a collection of these $2 notes, including a series of silver certificates, leave a comment in the comment section below and or give this video a thumbs up. I'm a new channel, so I could really use the support at the moment as I courageously start a new hobby. I wish I could show you what the money smells like. Money always has a very particular smell. But that's for a separate video. So today, like I said, we're going to be discussing and reading from the Handbook of United States Coins with Premium List. We're going to figure out what premium means. But like I said, 1968 Blue Book, Silver Anniversary Edition. This is a relic by R.S. Yeoman. apologies for mispronouncing your name. We can hear trucks outside. I need to figure out how to soundproof this room because otherwise I'm going to be hearing, and you're going to be hearing, a lot of distractions such as this one. This book is not a retail price list. Premium prices are the average amount dealers will pay for coins according to condition, if required for their stock. See page 14. We'll get to page 14. So the guidebook of United States coins, I suppose this means $2. Maybe in 1968. The book cost $2 to purchase. Of United States coins, containing mint, record, and prices paid by dealers for all United States coins, information on collecting coins, how coins are produced, mints and mint marks, grading of coins, location of mint marks, preserving and cleaning coins, starting a collection, what to buy, history of mints, and interesting descriptions of all U.S. copper, nickel, silver, and gold coins, and it is fully illustrated. Each year since 1941, new revised editions of the Handbook have aided thousands of people who have coins to sell or are actively engaged in collecting United States coins. The popular coin folder method of collecting by date series has set in motion ever-changing premium values based on the supply and demand of each date and mint mark of any type coin, such as the Lincoln cent. If you wanted to know what the Lincoln cent looked like, we can go to the index. Lincoln cents are page 29. That's what a Lincoln cent looks like. I actually have a couple of these hanging around my room somewhere, and I could probably find one. More trucks outside. This may be more difficult than I imagined. anyone has any ideas on how to soundproof a room, please let me know in the comments or in a message. The first year of the Lincoln Cent, 1909, comes with or without the small letters VDB on the reverse near the lower edge. These letters are the initials of the designer Victor D. Brenner. There was some protest about the placing of the initials on the coin, and they were removed, only to be replaced on the cents of 1918 and thereafter in new position under Lincoln's bust, in letters so small that an uncirculated piece is often necessary for examination to find it. It'll say the conditions: good, very good, fine, and very fine. I wonder how many of us would live in an age where the protests were about what you placed on a coin. It serves, too, as a source of general numismatic information of importance and usefulness to all levels of interest in the hobby. So, if you are a coin collector, or just getting into coins, it would be a paramount interest to pick up a copy of United States coins, should you choose to want a physical hard copy version without having to look on the internet. We can find the contributors. So, if you have coins to sell, granted, the shops open in 1968 may or may not be open today in 2020. But if you did have coins to sell, the publishers are not engaged in the rare coin business. However, the chances are that the dealer from whom you purchased this book is engaged in the buying and selling of rare coins. Contact them first. In the event that you purchased this book from a source other than a numismatic establishment, consult your local telephone directory for the names of coin dealers. They will be found sometimes under the heading of stamp and coin dealers. Of course, they did not know that there would be such a thing as the internet. If you live in a city or a town that does not have any coin dealers, it is suggested that you obtain a copy of one of the trade publications in order to obtain the names and addresses of many of the country's leading dealers. At the present time, which happens to be 52 years ago, there are several popular magazines and papers that are devoted to coin collecting. I wonder how many of these places are still in existence today. Numismatics, and forgive me, there is a siren in the background. I'm in New York City, and there's never a shortage of sirens and music and busybodies. Numismatics, or coin collecting, is one of the world's oldest hobbies, dating back several centuries. Coin collecting in America did not develop to any extent until about 1840, as our pioneer forefathers were too busy carving a country out of wilderness to afford the luxury of a hobby. I may disagree with that statement. The discontinuance of the large-sized cent in 1857 caused many persons to attempt to accumulate a complete set of the pieces while they were still in circulation. I wonder how much a large-sized cent in 1857, from 1857, how much it would cost to collect today. One of the first groups of collectors to band together for the study of numismatics was the Numismatic and Antiquarian Society of Philadelphia, City of Brotherly Love, organized on the 1st of January 1858. Lack of an economical method to house a collection held the number of devotees of coin collecting to a few thousand until the Whitman Publishing Company and other manufacturers placed the low-priced coin boards and folders on the market some years ago. Since that time, the number of Americans collecting coins has increased manyfold, myself included. They begin talking about the production of coins. If anyone is curious to know how a proof coin is made, metal blanks are carefully selected. Those without scratches or other imperfections are washed with a solution of cream of tartar. After rinsing in water, they are dipped in alcohol. The dies for making proofs receive a special polish, resulting in a mirror-like surface, not unlike the finished, brilliant proof coin. Unlike ordinary coinage, produced by mechanical pressure at the rate of 90 to 130 coins per minute, proof coins are struck by hydraulic pressure at a slower rate. Small details such as delicate hairlines are brought out in clear-cut relief by this method. The coins are carefully handled and are never allowed to come in contact with other coins. Certain coins include Lincoln cents, Buffalo nickels, quarter eagles, half eagles, eagles, and double eagles between the years 1908 to 16. They were made with a matte or sandblast surface. Matte proofs have a dull, frosted surface which is produced by special treatment after striking. Below, we can find where the letters on a coin would would signify where they were minted. C is for Charlotte, North Carolina, which happened to be on gold coins only. Double C for Carson City, Nevada. D for Georgia. Dahlonega. D for Denver, Colorado. O for New Orleans, Louisiana. P for Philadelphia. S for San Francisco. Put it all together and it smells good to pops. Just joking. The location of mint marks. Very interesting photographs. Black and white. The illustrations and explanations in this section will help the collector to identify certain well-known varieties. Half cents of 1795 to 1796 showing location of pole to cap. Here we can see the 1856 Flying Eagle scent. And collectors are advised to inspect any 1856 Flying Eagle scent carefully. I assume that there may be many counterfeits or old coins that are confused with the Flying Eagle scent because of corrosion and rust and other debris getting on the surface of the coin. Letters A and M in the word America are joined on the large letter variety. They are separated on the small letter variety. You can see how they're touching here, but not touching there. We're learning something new from 1968. Distinguishing marks. You'll notice a small L, the initial of the designer, Longacre, was added to the Indian design late in 1864 and was continued through 1909 for coins in less than fine condition. This small letter will often be worn away. Here we can see the condition of coins: fair, good, or G, VG, or very good. F is for fine, very fine, extremely fine, unk, or uncirculated, which means new, regular mint striking, but never placed in circulation. Older pieces may be tarnished or toned. You have a proof, PF, which means coins with mirror-like surface, especially struck for collectors at Philadelphia only. Also sandblast and matte proof. Coins in any condition with defects, such as those which are bent, corroded, scratched, holed, nicked, stained, oxidized, mutilated, or have other imperfections, are worth less than if free of these defects. If you have an expensive gold coin, it may be advised that you never clean a coin. And it is good advice. However, every collector tries to clean a coin sooner or later, so we are passing on a few tips here. Do not clean your coin if you are a numismatic, sophisticated individual. In the first place, some effort should be made to keep uncirculated and proof coins bright so they won't need cleaning. Tarnish on a coin is purely a chemical process caused by oxygen in the air acting on the metal, or by chemicals with which the coin comes in contact. One of the commonest chemicals causing tarnish is sulfur. Most paper, with the exception of specially manufactured sulfur-free kinds, contains sulfur due to the sulfuric acid that is used in paper manufacture. Do not wrap coins in ordinary paper. Also, keep uncirculated and proof coins away from rubber bands. Lay a rubber band on a silver coin for a few days, and then note the black stripe on the coin where the band touched. Do not use rubber bands when collecting coins. The utmost in protection is received by wrapping the coin in lead or aluminum foil. and then placing it in a tarnish-proof envelope. Both items are sold by coin dealers. Very, very interesting. This diagram tells you the right and wrong way to hold your precious metals. And now the moment that we're all waiting for. Starting a collection. One may start a collection of United States coins, or any other coin for that matter, with very little expense by systematically assembling the various dates and mint marks of all the types and denominations that are now in general circulation. Whitman's coin folders make this possible. Perfection is the goal of every endeavor, and coin collecting is no exception. After a board has been filled with circulated specimens, the next step will be to replace pieces with coins in uncirculated condition, or perhaps to start collecting the obsolete series. In either case, it will be necessary to purchase some coins from dealers or other collectors. The most logical way to keep abreast with the market or to obtain the addresses of the country's leading dealers. Hello, motorcycle. Is to subscribe to one or more of the trade publications. I wonder if I could hand someone this book and ask them for a $2,000 coin for a $15 price, as suggested in the pricing that we will get to later on in the book. Paper money issued by the government is collected widely in this country. I wonder why. The first issue of greenbacks was made in 1861. Paper money was not issued by our government for circulation prior to that date. Before 1861, we had this. Okay, maybe not this time. From 2013. But you can notice that the P says it's from Pennsylvania. Collectors of US notes prefer them in crisp, new condition. I agree. Therefore, the old-style, large-size notes in worn condition are usually worth very little more than face value. Don't tell me that. That hurts my feelings. Before the issuance of the first US government paper money, many banks throughout the country issued their own currency. These rolls are commonly referred to as broken banknotes, although that is somewhat of a misnomer, as many of the banks did not go broke. A few are still in existence and redeem their paper money issues. There are thousands thousands of varieties of these notes in existence, most of which are very common and worth from 25 cents to 50 cents each. Now we're looking at half cents. The half cent. In 1794 was minted 81,600 times. In fair condition, you can expect to pay $22.50 if you were living in 1968. In good condition, $32.50. Very good condition, $50. And in fine condition, $80. For a coin minted 81,600 times back in 1794. Cent began in 1810 and was minted 215,000 times. It seems to be priceless to acquire a proof. Perhaps they did not make proof coins at the time and were more concerned about settling land and fighting other countries. Here we have the half cent. And the half cent, I believe, looks very different from the half cent here. You have a head here and an eagle. What seems to be on an olive branch here, with half cent on the reverse side. Here we have copper cents. And large cents. those of the years 1859 to 1863 were struck in copper nickel and are commonly termed white cents because the metal is of a lighter color. But in 1864 the metal was changed to the present used bronze, although copper nickel cents of 1864 were struck too. Here we can see the headdress with the 1 cent on the reverse. And if I wanted to score an 1869 Indian head cent, which was minted 6,420,000 times, I would have to pay $32.50 if I were lucky enough to enter a shop in 1968. But I am not that lucky because I was not around when this book was made. People may be familiar with the Lincoln cent. Here we can begin to see the coins produced in many millions. This is 108 million coins minted in 1907. If you wanted to know which coins were rare and valuable, you can expect to go back and look at, for example, the 1793 Liberty Cap, which only 11,000 were made. Look at how the price differs from fair condition to fine condition. The list continues for the Lincoln cent. In 1943, no bronze cents were officially issued, although a few may have been struck in error. I wonder if that increased the value of the cent, that particular cent. We are going to keep going and look at one of my favorite coins, the 5-cent nickel. Which began in 1883 and continued up until I am not sure because, as you can see, at some point, Thomas Jefferson's head replaced the Native American. How ironic, right? James E. Fraser, or Frazier, who designed the buffalo nickel, used 3 different Indians to obtain the portrait on the obverse side. We call them indigenous people these days. The models were Irontail, a Sioux warrior, 2 Moons, a Cheyenne chief, and John Big Tree, an Onondaga chief. The bison were modeled after Black Diamond in the New York Zoological Garden. The famous animal was slaughtered in 1915, and his massive head was preserved and mounted. I am going to be right back and see if I can find one of these 5 cents for you to see. So, I pulled a few coins, which we can talk about. But one in particular is the 5-cent nickel. And it's strange. The coin fits. The printing of the coin, the illustration or photograph, this one the date is so scratched out from the coin. I can't determine when it's from. So, we can't determine where this coin is from. We've got other 5-cent nickels, such as this one, made in 1939, which would be this one. 120 million of them were made, and even in extremely fine condition, it is only worth 5 cents. Before we go on, perhaps we can take a look at the two different heads. One can infer that they were either looking at each other or not looking at each other. Let's take this Liberty 1945. $50 and find it in the book. $50. Page 62. Here we have the $50, but it doesn't line up with the Walking Liberty. Let's keep looking. Liberty walking type, 1916 to 1947. 31,502,000 of these Liberty half dollars were made. And even at very fine condition can only be acquired for 50 cents. I wonder how much the Walking Liberty it costs today. I saw a piece of paper I wonder what this will tell us. Let's use this 1 cent penny. From 1952 to save the page. This details the penny, Jefferson nickel, Roosevelt dime, Mercury dime, quarter Washington, and half-dollar Franklin. Sorry about that. This is a silver Washington. I say silver because it was made mostly with silver. $1964 is not on this list. Numismatic Journal from Whitman. A monthly magazine devoted to all phases of numismatics. I'm gonna find my place again as that car beeps. Outside, he doesn't know that we're filming a wonderful ASMR YouTube video. I'm gonna wrap this up. Here are some of my favorite coins that I'd like to acquire in the next few months. $2.50 gold piece, the quarter eagles. If I wanted to purchase some in extremely fine condition, I could find them for $20. The rarest, which would be the 1911D, only 56,000 of them were minted, and they go for $200 of 1968 money. If you would like to purchase in extremely fine condition. Similarly, there's a $5 half eagle that I would like to purchase. It's a $5 gold piece, and we can find that 1929 has some extremely expensive, extremely fine prices. For the last year that the half eagle, the Indian half eagle, was minted. And finally, I would like to purchase the $10 gold piece Indian eagle. Those are about half an ounce of gold. We have double eagles. And notably, the Walking Liberty, double eagle. Here we have commemorative silver. Commemorative gold. And the thing that got me into collecting in the first place, the coin folders. Construction started happening outside my apartment. So this might be a good time to wrap up. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. Looking at old documents. Examining old coins. Some of which I didn't even show. I want to know what year this buffalo nickel was. I also will eventually figure out where my frame line is. Thanks again for joining me. Perhaps I'll make a video on these $2 bills and silver certificates next. I hope you all have a prosperous day.